All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here for the opening night of Saints Theater's production of A Few Good Men. My name is Travis Blummer. I'm the drama director here at St. Augustine High School. It's tradition in the theater for the director to come out and give a short speech on opening night, so I hope you will indulge me, and then we'll get on to the fun part. I have so many people that I need to thank for making this night happen. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Ed Hearn, our president at Saints, our principal, Mr. Jim Horn, our board of directors for being so supportive of the arts, the Raymond family for being incredible patrons of the arts, and all of the Augustinians on campus who support us in our artistic endeavors. I'd like to thank my amazing staff of administrators, the faculty, and all of the support staff here at Saints for helping us out with the show. And specifically, last but definitely not least, I would like to thank so much our parent volunteers. We could not do this show without your generous volunteerism. Specifically, I'd like to thank Mr. Jim Delacruz. I can't see if Jim is even in the audience, but he has done so much to support me, to take stuff off of my plate so that I can just concentrate on directing our incredible cast and crew. On a personal note, I have just, when I first came to Saints, I was very much a stranger in a strange land. I had never worked at a private school before. I didn't really know what to expect. I have just felt so welcome and embraced by the community here. This school is such a special place. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and helping with this. Our students are so incredibly motivated. The young performers behind me, the young technicians up in the booth and around the stage, they are so incredibly driven, and it's been, I feel so blessed, and it's been such a gift to get to work with them. I'd like to do something a little unorthodox before we get started, just because of the nature of the show. Fellas in the booth, could you douse the spot and bring the house lights up one more time? Fellas? Great. I'd like to invite, if we have any veterans in the audience, if we have any families of veterans, if we have anyone either active duty or retired armed services, any first responders in the house, can we just give them a special round of applause? And if you would stand up and so much for your service and your sacrifice from a truly grateful civilian and cast of civilians. A couple of announcements. Whoop. No, turn that one off. They'll like me. They'll like me, fellas. Fellas in the booth, give me something. Okay, this is fine. So, folks, so a couple of announcements before we get started. If you'll just take a look around to your left and right, notice the green glowing exit signs. Those are our emergency exits. In the unlikely event of an emergency, just stand up and quickly and calmly walk towards those exits. Please take this opportunity to turn off your cell phone. Not just turn it to silent, please turn it off, because it does interfere with our sound systems and our lighting systems. There's no food or drink allowed in the theater. There will be a 15-minute intermission where concessions will be sold, but I ask you to please enjoy those outside, dispose of them, and then come back for the second half, just so we don't have any food left in the theater. All right, and then our last thing, please no recording or photography of any kind, except, of course, if you are the sanctioned team that is up there in the rafters. Hi, guys. Without further ado, please enjoy the St. Augustine High School production of A Few Good Men.
I, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, have been informed by Special Agent R.C. McGuire of the Naval Investigative Service that I'm suspected of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and conduct of becoming a United States Marine in the matter of Private First Class William T. Santiago.
Any statement I do make can be used against me in a trial by a court-martial or other judicial or administrative proceeding. I have the right to consult with a lawyer prior to further questioning.
I am presently assigned to Rifle Security Company Windward, 2nd Platoon Delta, Nav Base, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
I am a PFC in the United States Marine Corps, assigned to Marine Rifle Security Company Windward, 2nd Platoon Delta. I will have been in the Marine Corps 10 months as of August.
I entered Private Santiago's barracks room on the evening of 6 July at or about 2350. I was accompanied by PFC Loudon Downey.
I was accompanied by my squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson.
We tied his hands and feet with rope.
We tied Private Santiago's hands and feet with rope, and we forced a piece of cloth into his mouth.
We placed duct tape over his eyes and mouth.
I have read this 2-page statement that Special Agent McGuire has prepared for me at my request as we discussed its content. I have been allowed to make all changes and corrections, initializing those changes and corrections.
These statements are true and factual to the best of my knowledge.
Danny,
I'm late.
you know what I just saw?
No, but I'm genuinely late.
There's a lady lawyer from Internal Affairs wandering around the hallway.
What's she doing?
I don't know.
Is she stealing things?
No?
Tell me why I care.
Ordinarily, when Internal Affairs sends a lawyer to talk to the other lawyers, it means someone screwed up.
Do you think it's you?
No?
Have you done anything wrong?
No?
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I think so. I don't know. I've been very tired lately. Look, do me a favor, would you?
Sure.
If she talks to you, if she mentions anything about Dematis.
Who?
Dematis, the engineer. My guy who was caught littering in the Admiral's tulip garden. Okay, look, I may have cut a few corners. Could you cover for me?
Sure.
Really?
Look, I have no idea what you're talking about, but sure, no problem.
Dematis, he's an engineer.
Yeah, littering in the animal's turnip garden.
Tulips.
Okay.
Where are you going?
I'm representing an ensign who bought and smoked $10 worth of oregano.
He thought it was weed?
I can only hope.
So you're not concerned?
What's he gonna be charged with? Possession of a condiment? He'll get a C misdemeanor, 15 days restricted duty.
I'm talking about the lady from Internal Affairs. You're not concerned?
My softball team is playing Bethesda Medical tomorrow, Sam. I can't be concerned with anything else right now. I'll see you at lunch.
I'm Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway.
Captain Wicker, come on in.
I appreciate you seeing me on such short notice.
Vronsky said you're reopening a case.
Yes, sir?
You know, Vronsky and I go way back.
He speaks very highly of you, sir.
Yeah, that's bullshit, right?
Yes, sir.
I know you, don't I?
I don't believe we formally...
You work at Internal Affairs.
Yes, sir.
I hate Internal Affairs.
Yes, sir.
And you're a woman.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's all right.
Thank you, sir.
Wait a minute. You're the one who recycled those 14B misdemeanors last winter.
That may have been me.
14B misdemeanors. Drunk and disorderly. We had them closed.
No, sir. You didn't. The blue copies of the charge sheets were never filed to division with the IC1.
Who gives a shit?
My boss.
He
The
doesn't-
Judge Advocate General.
He doesn't care any more than I do. It was you.
Rules are rules, sir. I'm sure you understand.
You had my guys working Christmas Day, filling out charge sheets by longhand. Christmas Day, Commander.
It was in the interest of justice, sir.
Okay, so are you here to bother anybody?
No, not at all. Absolutely not. Only if necessary.
Then what can I do for you?
This past weekend, 2 Marines in Guantanamo Bay was charged with murder to, conspiracy to commit, and conduct unbecoming. Over the weekend, I petitioned Captain Bronsky to deny the guilty pleas and to have them be brought up here to Washington to be assigned counsel.
What's the problem with the guilty plea? Did somebody misspell conspiracy?
No, sir. They pled guilty at a 30-minute conference at 2 in the morning at which neither had an attorney.
So Bronsky's bringing him up to Washington?
You'll be receiving a memo from Division instructing you to assign counsel. Which brings me to why I'm here.
Yes.
I'd like a favor.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
What's the favor?
I need you to tell Division to assign a lawyer from outside your department.
Why?
Because I'm a lawyer outside your department.
And don't think I'm not grateful.
I brought a letter of recommendation from Captain Bronsky.
Commander, I'm confused. You're an investigator. Why do you want to get mixed up in this grunt work?
I don't consider it grunt work, sir.
It's a 5-minute bargain and a week's worth of paperwork.
I'd look forward to it with relish, sir.
And can I ask, do you always talk as if your dialogue was written by someone who's not very good at it?
I apologize if my over-eagerness is grating.
It's not. It's endearing. You could have a career as a cartoon squirrel.
I just want to make sure this is handled properly.
Have you ever done litigation before?
My first year in the JAG Corps.
How many cases did you handle?
Altogether,
Yes.
6.
And how'd you do?
From what perspective?
Your clients?
Not well.
Okay.
Excuse me, Isaac. This just come in for you. It's from Division.
I'm Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway.
Really?
How do you do?
Really enjoyed last Christmas.
That'll be all.
So, what do you say?
Commander, may I call you Joanne?
Yes, please.
Joanne, you seem like a fairly harmless, neurotic person.
I appreciate that.
Look, I'd really like to help you. I really would. But there are 2 things that are preventing me. One, I believe that in your present assignment with Internal Affairs, you do an exceptionally thorough job. I have a hunch, as a litigator, not that much.
Yes, but it's...
And second, Division has already assigned an attorney.
What?
They've already assigned someone. I don't know why they care, but it's out of my hands now. They want you to brief them. Apparently you've got some letters and documents.
Yes, sir.
We have a staff meeting at 3. I'll be giving out assignments by then. Come by, do your thing, and whatever you do, try not to make anyone cry.
Yes, sir.
Tough break.
Thank you, Captain.
You can call me Isaac.
And what's the name of the attorney Division assigned?
10 Hut, officer on deck.
Danielle Caffey.
They're giving you a lawyer. They're going to move you up to Washington, D.C., and give you a lawyer who's going to ask you some questions. I need you to know something about these lawyers. They don't care about anything. They don't care about honor or loyalty. They don't care about Colonel Jessup or Lieutenant Kendrick. They don't care about me. And they most definitely don't care about you. They're clowns. That is why, so help me God, they're the only ones who can save you right now. I want you boys to be smart. Talk to your lawyer.
I just settled for the OTH. It's his 4th UA. I'm not going to do any better than that.
I don't think I need to settle for the OTH. If I file a motion to suppress,
A motion to suppress?
Absolutely.
On what grounds?
Grounds?
See, this is where your plan begins to fall apart.
Just take the OTH.
Excuse me, sorry I'm late.
I'm sure you have a good excuse.
No, I just didn't really care enough about this meeting to be on time.
Right. Brandon Galler, this is Lieutenant Caffey.
How do you do?
You're a JG.
What?
This is the attorney Division assigned.
Yes.
I wrote Captain Bronsky a 16-page memo outlining the situation, and I pleaded my case for 30 minutes in his living room on a Sunday afternoon. And Division assigns a junior grade.
Have I come at a bad time?
Commander Galloway's from Internal Affairs.
Whatever Sam did with the guy in the tulip garden, it wasn't his fault. He was tired. How was that? Thanks very much. You see, Sam's got a baby at home, and he's sure she's about to say her first word any day now.
How do you know?
She just looks like she's got something to say.
She's 14 months old. What could she possibly have to say?
We've got a pool going, $10. You pick anywhere off the grid.
What's left?
Rosebud.
Captain, if I may...
All right, let's get started. Okay, so, Danny, Commander's here because you've been detailed by Division.
Ooh. Detailed to do what?
Detailed to handle this. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. A Marine PFC named William Santiago writes a letter saying he knows the name of a Marine who illegally fired a round from his weapon over the fence line. He ends the letter by saying he wants a transfer off the base in exchange for the identity of the Marine.
What's a fence line?
Sam,
A big wall separating the good guys from the bad guys.
Okay. Now, the man who illegally fired over the fence line was Santiago's squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold Dawson. The fence line shooting, however, is beyond the point.
What's the point?
Santiago's dead.
What happened?
What happened was him and another member of his squad, PFC Loudon Downey, tied Santiago up, tied his hands and feet up, and stuck a rag in his mouth. Upon medical analysis, the doctor confirmed that the rag must have been treated with some kind of toxin.
They poisoned the rag?
Not according to them.
What do they say?
Not much. They're being brought up here tomorrow morning, Thursday at 0600. You'll catch a transport down to Cuba, and Commander Galloway will fill you in on the rest. Any questions so far?
Yeah. Was that 0600 in the morning, sir?
Oh, that reminds me. Division wants me to assign backup. Any volunteers? Sam?
No, sir. I have a pile of work on my
Work
desk.
with Kathy on this.
Doing what?
Various administrative, things. Backup. Whatever.
So in other words, I have no responsibilities whatsoever.
Right.
My kind of case.
Lieutenant, how long have you been in the Navy?
I beg your pardon?
How long have you been in the Navy?
Going on 9 months now.
Have you ever been in a courtroom?
I once had my driver's license suspended.
All right. Captain, this is
Danny.
absurd.
Commander, if this thing ever went to court, those Marines wouldn't need a lawyer. They'd need a priest.
No, they'd need a lawyer.
Isaac, I'd just like to say for the record, this is the least fun I've ever had at one of your staff meetings.
Lieutenant Caffey is generally considered one of the best litigators in our office. He successfully plea bargained 44 cases in less than a year.
One more and I get a set of steak knives.
One of the people you'll be talking to down there is Commander Nathan Jessup. I assume you've heard of him?
Sam?
He's been in the papers lately. He's expected to be appointed Director of Operations for the NSC. Golden Boy of the Corps. He's very big inside the DoD.
How does someone get very big inside the DoD? Is he touring? Did he cut an album?
On top is an inventory of Santiago's footlocker from the night he died. 3 long-sleeve khaki shirts, 3 short-sleeve khaki shirts, 3 pairs of khaki pants, a pair of boots, 3 pairs of khaki socks,
Commander?
3 pairs of black socks. Yes?
I don't think socks and underwear are going to figure too heavily into this defense.
I'm saying these need to be given back to his family after they've cleared evidence.
Sam, you're in charge of socks and underwear.
So it's a good thing I went to school for 21 years.
Here are the letters Santiago wrote during his time at Gitmo.
Guantanamo Bay.
I knew that one.
He wrote to everyone. The Commandant of the Marine Corps, his recruiter, HQ Atlantic, even his senator. He wanted to be transferred off the base, and no one was listening. You with me?
Yeah.
Until he wrote this, where he offered information about the fence line shooting committed by Corporal Dawson in exchange for his transfer off of the base. That letter is the only physical evidence establishing motive for Dawson to kill Santiago.
Gotcha. And Santiago's who?
The victim!
Hey, write that down. Commander, am I right in assuming that these letters don't paint a flattering picture of Santiago's treatment by the Marine Corps?
Yes, among other things.
And am I also right in assuming that a protracted investigation of the incident would cause some embarrassment for Sinatra?
Who?
The base commander, the guy who's hot at the Pentagon.
Colonel Jessup, yes, but
12
my point...
years.
I'm sorry?
I'll get the charges dropped down to involuntary manslaughter. They'll get 12 years with probation after 7.
You haven't talked to a witness or looked at a piece of paper.
Pretty impressive, huh?
Either that or criminally stupid. Which one do you think it is I'm thinking right now?
Kids.
Excuse me, sir. Ma'am, do you have some sort of jurisdiction here that I'm unaware of?
I'm special counsel for internal affairs, Lieutenant. My jurisdiction is pretty much in your face. Thank you, Captain.
Oh, you're not leaving already, are you?
I'm afraid so. I have to go audit some paperwork on an engineer who was caught littering in his admiral's tulip garden. Someone may have forgotten to dot a few I's.
Sam, I think she was talking about you.
You don't say.
Don't get cute down there. The Marines down there in Guantanamo Bay are fanatical.
About what?
Dear sir,
About being Marines.
My name is PFC William T. Santiago. I am a Marine, stationed at Marine Barracks, Windward, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. I'm writing to inform you of my problems and to ask for your help. I have been mistreated since the very first day I arrived there. I've been punished for passing out on runs when the doctor says I just have heat exhaustion. This is just one incident of mistreatment, and I could say many more, but I don't want to take any more of your time than I'm allowed to. I've written mailers, and I've gotten no response. So I must try something else. I know of an illegal fence line shooting that took place 4 nights ago. A member of my unit illegally discharged a weapon into Cuban territory. I will give you his name in exchange for a transfer. I ask you to help me. Please, sir. I just need to transfer to the RSC.
Excuse me, sir. Captain Markins and Lieutenant Kendrick to see you, sir.
Thank you, Tom. Matthew, Jane, have a seat.
Thank you, Colonel.
$1,000 in. It's already hot enough to melt the brass right off your collar. I just had a Navy guy here telling me that we're lucky. After all, it's only dry heat. Dry heat, and it's 107 degrees outside. Now, how am I supposed to feel about that? Matthew, you've been here the longest. Is this about as hot as it gets, or am I actually trapped in hell?
This is as hot as it's been since maybe 84, Colonel.
84 was pretty bad?
Got up to 119 degrees.
Capering, half in smoke and half in fire. Moby Dick? Jane, when I quote Melville, you don't have to nod your head up and down like you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to regard you as less as an officer just because you're not as well read.
Thank you, sir.
I mean that, Jane.
I appreciate that, sir.
119 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yes, sir.
You must have had Marines passing out right and left.
No, they were all right.
Nobody passed out.
No, sir.
Nobody got dizzy or hyperventilated? No heat exhaustion?
No, not that I recall.
Impressive.
Thank you, sir.
You know why those Marines didn't pass out back in 84, Jane? Even though it was 119 degrees by Captain Markinson's reckoning. You know why they stayed on the job?
Why, sir?
Because that's what they're trained to do.
Yes, sir.
Now, who the hell is PFC William T. Santiago?
Officer on deck, Ken Hutt.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway.
Ma'am, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, ma'am. Marine Barracks, Rifle Security Company, Windward.
Ma'am, Private First Class Loudon Downey, ma'am.
Stand easy. I work with the JAG Corps. I was the one that had you boys brought up here. I wanted to see if there was anything you needed. Or any questions you might have. I know this is all a little bit daunting, but if there's any way I can help. Any questions you might have?
Ma'am, permission to speak?
Go ahead.
I got some Spider-Mans and some Batmans sitting in my footlocker, ma'am. Somebody will dog them for sure if they're not secured.
You think this is a joke?
Ma'am, no, ma'am.
What about you? You think this is a joke?
No, ma'am, it's not a joke, ma'am.
I apologize to the commander, ma'am. About the books, ma'am, I didn't mean nothing.
You were read your Article 31 rights. Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Say you understand them.
Ma'am, I understand them, ma'am.
Can I get an MP?
Aye, Commander.
Take Lance Corporal Dawson down to a holding room. I'm going to speak with Private Downey alone for a moment.
All right, let's go. Hey, asshole, I said move it.
Ma'am, permission to be dismissed.
You're dismissed. Hi. Your closest living relative is Ginny Miller, your aunt on your mother's side. Is that correct? Ginny Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
She hasn't been contacted yet. Would you like me to take care of that for you? I'll take care of that for you. Private, do you know why you're here?
Ma'am, this is where the guard told me to stand.
Loudon, may I call you Loudon?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know where you are? Do you know why you've been arrested?
Willie died, ma'am.
Why? Was it an accident or did you mean to do it? Loudon, I know about Code Reds.
Ma'am?
I can either ask or you can just tell me, was it a Code Red?
I don't need those comic books, ma'am. You can have them if you like.
Loudon, they're gonna try and pin you with intent saying this is a retaliation on Santiago for snitching on Dawson about the fence line shooting. Which it wasn't, was it?
Ma'am, permission to speak?
Sure.
Are you our lawyer, ma'am?
No. I'm a lawyer, but I'm not the one representing you.
Captain Markinson told us to talk to our lawyer, ma'am. That's what he told us to do.
All right, man on first, one down. Let's go for two. Sherby, get your glove down. Pick up some dirt with the ball. All right, let's do it again. Man down, let's go for two.
Excuse me.
1 second. Sherby, you gotta trust me. If you keep your eyes open while the ball's coming towards you, you're catching the ball and you fight back to the catch. You wanna pick up? Maybe I'll help you get it.
No thanks. I can't throw and catch things.
That's too bad. Let's do it again.
I wanted to talk to you about Dawson and Downey.
There's something wrong, man.
I'm just wondering why two guys have been in a cell since this morning while their lawyer's outside hitting a ball. Lieutenant, feel very insulted if I ask your supervisor that different counsel be assigned. I'm not about possibly hurting your feelings, but I don't think you're fit to handle this defense.
You don't even know me. Wouldn't it really take someone hours to realize I'm not
I do know you, and I know who your father was. And I know that you went to Harvard Law on a Navy scholarship, and that you're probably just treading water for the 3 years you got to serve. Just kind of laying low to get out to get a real job. And if that's the case, fine. But my feeling is that in this case, it's handled in the same fast, slick-ass, purchase bazaar manner with which you seem to handle everything else. Something's gonna get mixed. I wouldn't be doing my job if I allowed Dawson and Downey to spend any more time in jail than absolutely necessary because their attorney had predetermined the path of least resistance.
I may be picking the wrong time to ask you this, but are you seeing anyone right now? Because I think it'd be perfect together. It's clear that you respect me, and that's the foundation for any solid.
Shut up! I don't think your client murdered anybody.
Take their word for it.
I mean, I don't think there was any intent.
The doctor report says that my dad was died of radiation or on my two lactic acid. Nature's acid is the strongest just poison. Now, no clue what any of that means, but it sounds pretty bad.
The doctor's wrong.
That's it. I was afraid I wouldn't get to my life back on fire.
Cassie,
Look, rest assured, I'm completely on top of the situation with Dawson and Dawson.
Downey, I'll see you.
You've been straight down Pennsylvania Avenue to the big White House with the building in front.
Thank you!
I don't think you have much luck, though. I was detailed by division, remember? Someone over there is under the impression that I'm a pretty good lawyer. So I appreciate your interest and admire your enthusiasm. I think I have things handled at this point.
Do you know what a code red is?
I'm appalled, sir.
No, I don't.
Find out.
You're appalled.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty strong language, Matthew. You better cool yourself down before you work yourself into a lather. You're appalled. Santiago's written letters to everyone except Santa Claus complaining about his treatment. He's broken the chain of command. He's threatened to rat out a member of his unit, a member of his own squad, for Christ's sake. To say nothing of the fact that he's a U.S. Marine, and it seems he can't run from here to there without collapsing from heat exhaustion. What the hell is going on over at Windward, Matthew?
Colonel, I think it might be more appropriate if we held this discussion in private.
That won't be necessary, Colonel. I can handle the problem.
Like you handled Curtis Barnes? You're
My
doing
methods of
something...
leadership brought me to this space.
Don't interrupt me. I'm still your superior officer.
And I'm yours, Matthew. Now, what are we going to do about this?
I think we have to transfer Santiago, sir. Right away. Now.
Transfer Santiago?
Yes, sir.
I suppose you're right. I suppose that's the right thing to do. Wait. I got a better idea. Let's transfer the whole squad off the base. Oh, we better do that. Let's, on second thought, Windward. The whole Windward division. Let's transfer them off the base. Jane, go on out there. Get those boys down off the fence. They're packing their bags. Tom.
Sir.
Get me the president. Tell him we're surrendering our position in Cuba.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. Tom, don't get the president. Maybe you should give us a moment to consider this. You're dismissed. Maybe instead of giving up because a Marine made a mistake, maybe we should train Santiago. What do you think? I'm just spitballing, but I believe we as officers have a responsibility to our country that the men and women charged with its security are properly trained professionals. And maybe we have that responsibility to the other members of the Corps. Yes? Yes. See, I'm certain I once read that somewhere. And now I'm trying to think how I might feel if a Marine got hurt or killed because a PFC in my command didn't know what the hell he was doing. Oh, and this brief meditation on transferring Santiago, well, expeditious and certainly painless, might not be, in a manner of speaking, the American way. Santiago stays where he is. We're going to train the private. Jane, you're in charge. Santiago doesn't make a 4646 on his next Procon report, I'm going to blame you. Then I'm going to kill you.
You're making a mistake, Colonel.
Matthew, I believe I will have that word in private with you now. Jane, that's all. Why don't you and I have lunch at the Oak Club and we can discuss how to train the private?
I'd be delighted, sir.
You're dismissed. Matthew, have a seat, please. What do you think of Kendrick?
Nathan, this isn't personal. My opinion on Jane...
I think she's kind of a weasel myself.
Yes, sir.
But she's an awfully good officer. And in the end, we both see eye to eye on the best way to run a Marine Corps unit. We're in the business of saving lives, Matthew. Every degree that we allow ourselves to fall off the mark of perfection, more people die. And I believe that taking a Marine who's a weak link and packing him off to another assignment is the same as sending a kid into a jungle with a weapon that backfires. Matthew, sit down. I'm younger than you are, and if that's a source of tension or embarrassment, well, I don't give a shit. We're in the business of saving lives. Don't ever question my orders in front of an officer.
Officer on deck, 10 hut! Hi. Sir, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, sir.
Someone hasn't been working or playing well with others, have we, Harold?
Sir, PFC Loud and Downey, sir.
I'm Daniel Caffey. I'm your attorney. This is Sam Weinberg. He's from the AC Nielsen Media Research. He's going to talk to you about your preferences in the Caribbean Command. You can sit down. Is your signature?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to call me sir. This is your signature.
Sir, yes, sir.
You certainly don't have to do it twice in one sentence. What's the code red?
Sir?
You really don't have to call me sir. What's the code red?
Sir, a code red is a disciplinary engagement.
What's that?
Sir, a Marine falls out of line. It's the responsibility of the men in his unit to get him back on track.
Did you know this?
It's like a hazing.
What's a garden variety code red?
Sir, a Marine refuses to bathe on a regular basis. The men in his squad would give him a GI shower.
And what's that?
Scrub brushes, Brillo pads, steel wool.
Beautiful.
Was the attack on Santiago a code red?
Yes, sir.
Does he ever talk?
Sir, Private Donnie will answer any direct questions you ask him, sir.
Swell. It says in the report that you guys denied putting poison on the rag. What was it you were going to do?
Sir?
What was the code red supposed to be?
We were gonna shave his head, sir. We were just gonna shave his head.
When all of a sudden,
We saw blood dripping out of his mouth, sir. We pulled the tape off of his mouth and pulled the gag out.
was there more blood?
All down his face, sir. Then Corporal Dawson called the ambulance.
You called the ambulance?
Yes, sir.
That wasn't in the report.
We weren't asked about it, sir.
Did anyone see you call the ambulance?
No, sir.
Were you there when the ambulance got there?
Yes, sir. That's when we were taken under arrest.
Harold, I want to tell you a little something called attorney-client privilege. It means you can tell us anything you want in here, and we can't repeat it without your permission. We took an oath. You took an oath, right, Sam?
Yeah.
See, Sam took an oath. Did you attack Santiago with the intent of killing him?
No, sir.
What was your intent?
To train him, sir.
Train him to do what?
Train him to think of his unit before himself. Train him to respect the code.
What's the code? Who cares? No, what's the code?
Unit, Corps, God, Country.
I beg your pardon?
Our code is Unit, Corps, God, Country. That's our code, sir.
It seems to be working out well for you.
We'll be back later. Is there anything you guys want? Books, paper, cigarettes, a ham sandwich?
No, thank you, sir.
Harold, there's a concept I think you better start getting used to.
Sir?
I'm the only friend you've got.
Dan Cappy.
Smiling Jack Ross.
I hope for Dawson and Downey's sake you'll practice law better than you play softball.
Unfortunately for Dawson and Downey's sake, I don't do anything better than I play softball. What are we looking at?
They plead to manslaughter. I'll drop the conspiracy and the bad conduct. 20 years. They'll be home in half that time.
I want 12.
I can't do that, sorry.
They called the ambulance, Jack.
I don't care if they called the Avon lady. They killed a Marine.
The autopsy report, the lab report, even the initial ER and COD reports all say the same thing. Maybe, maybe not.
The chief of internal medicine at the Guantanamo Bay Naval Hospital, he says he's sure.
Hey, Jack, what's the code red?
Shit. Are we off the record?
Nope.
All right. I'll give you the 12 years. But before you go getting yourself into trouble down there, you should know this. The platoon commander, Lieutenant Jane Kendrick, she had a meeting with the men and specifically told them not to touch Santiago.
I'll talk to you later.
Do we have a deal?
I'll see you when I get back. Oh no, come on in.
Thank you.
Any luck getting me replaced?
Is there anyone in this command you don't either drink or play softball with?
Commander.
You can call me Joe.
Joe. I have no inbred hostility towards you, but if you ever speak to one of my clients again without my permission, I'll have you disbarred.
I had authorization.
Authorization from where?
Downey's closest living relative, Ginny Miller, his aunt on his mother's side.
You got authorization from Aunt Ginny?
I gave her a call. I thought she might be concerned. Perfectly within my province.
You got authorization from Aunt Ginny.
Very nice woman. We talked on the phone for about an hour.
Does Aunt Ginny have a barn? We can hold a trial there. I can sew the costumes, and maybe his Uncle Goober can be the judge.
Even more good news. Division wants me to get out more and see how lawyers are doing in the field. Guess where I'm going?
A shooting range?
I'm going to Cuba with you tomorrow.
And the hits just keep on coming.
She's asleep now. When Laura gets back, you're my witness. The baby spoke. My daughter said a word.
She made a sound. I'm not sure it was a word.
Oh, come on. It was a word. She
Okay.
sat here. She pointed, and she said, "Pa." She did. She said, "Pa."
She was pointing at a doorknob.
That's right. Pointing as if to say, "Pa, look, a doorknob."
Jack Ross came to see me today. He gave me the 12 years.
That's what you wanted.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll take it.
So?
It took 45 seconds. You barely put up a fight.
Danny, take the 12 years. It's a gift.
You don't believe their story, do you? You think they should go to jail?
I believe every word they said. And I think they should go to jail for the rest of their lives.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, don't forget to wear your whites. It's hot down there.
But I don't look good in my whites.
Nobody looks good in their whites, but we're going to Cuba in July. You got Dramamine?
Dramamine keeps you cool?
You get sick when you fly.
I get sick when I fly because I'm afraid of crashing into a large mountain. I don't think Dramamine will help.
I got some oregano. I heard that works pretty well.
Yeah. Hey. Ross said the strangest thing to me before he left. He said the platoon commander, Lieutenant Jane Kendrick, told her men not to touch Santiago.
So?
I never mentioned Kendrick. I don't even know who she is. Well,
Tin Hut!
Squad leaders, front center, report.
Ma'am, Corporal John, Alpha Squad present, ma'am.
Corporal Hammaker, Bravo's present.
Corporal Howard, Charlie's present.
Lance Corporal Dawson, ma'am. Delta's present list 2.
Private Santiago's been excused from this meeting. Where's Private Downey?
Downey radioed into the switch, ma'am. He and Pickup are making it back by foot.
Pass on my words to Private Downey. Anything I say to the squad leaders at this meeting is to be considered a direct order to the members of your squads. Is that clear?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Revelations 2. I know thy works and thy labor, and how thou canst bear them which are evil. And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles, and hast found them to be. If you're a PFC and you have a problem, who do you take that problem to?
Ma'am, your corporal, ma'am.
If you're a corporal and you have a problem, who do you take that problem to?
Ma'am, your sergeant, ma'am.
Private Santiago of Delta Squad has laid waste our priorities and made wretched our code. Priorities?
Unit, corps, God, country.
Code.
Unit, corps, God, country.
What are we here to fight for?
Unit, corps, God, country.
What are we here to fight for?
Unit, corps, God, country.
Do you need someone from outside this unit to show you how to be good?
Ma'am, no, ma'am.
Do you need someone from outside this unit to show you how to be right?
Ma'am, no, ma'am.
Corporal Dunn.
Ma'am.
You think you and the boys of Alpha Squad could show Santiago how to be right?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Anybody in Alpha goes near him, you answer to me. Is that clear?
Ma'am.
Is it clear?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Dismissed. Corporal Hammaker.
Ma'am.
How about my brave men of Bravo? I bet I turn this over to your boys in Santiago's Marine by sunrise. Am I right?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Bravo touches them, and you'll all be filled with sandbags to beg for mercy. Dismissed. Corporal Howard.
Ma'am.
I have 2 things to say to you. The first is that I believe in my heart that you and the men of Charlie Squad are outstanding Marines, and that your influence over the private would be invaluable. The second is that the government of the United States maintains a military installation in the Arctic Circle, and that you and the men of Charlie will find yourselves scraping icicles off of eagles in a heartbeat if you so much as look funny at the private. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
No code reds. Is that clear?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
No code reds. Is that clear?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
No code reds. Is that clear?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Dismissed. Lance Corporal Dawson.
Ma'am.
Left, lift your head and lift it high.
Lift your head and lift it high.
Delta companies passing by.
Delta's companies passing by.
I don't know what I've been told.
I don't know what I've been told.
All Marines are mighty bold.
All Marines are mighty bold.
Sound off.
1, 2.
Sound off.
3, 4.
Sound off.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Lieutenant Captain Weinberg?
Yeah?
I'm Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway.
It's nice to meet you, ma'am. I'm just escorting you to windward side of the base.
Thank you.
Camouflage jackets, sirs. I'll have to ask you to put them both on.
camouflage jackets?
Yes, sir. Regulations. Cubans see an officer wearing white, they think it's someone they might want to take a shot at.
Oh, good call, Sam.
Alright, let's get to the Jeep. We'll be on our way to the ferry in no time.
Wait, we have to take a boat?
Yes, sir.
Whitaker never said anything about a boat.
Sir, is there a problem?
No problem. Just not crazy about boats.
Jesus Christ, Cappy, you're in the Navy for crying out loud!
Nobody likes you very much.
Yes, sir. Colonel Nathan Jessup, have a seat.
This is Commander Galloway. She's observing and evaluating.
Pleased to meet you, Commander.
This is Sam Weinberg. He has absolutely no responsibilities here whatsoever.
This is Lieutenant Kendrick and Captain Markinson. Markinson's my second command and James XO for the windward side.
Lieutenant Cappy, I had the pleasure of meeting your father once. I was a teenager and he spoke at my high school.
Lionel Caffey.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Jiminy goddamn cricket. Jane, you're too young to know this, but this man's dad made a lot of enemies in your neck of the woods. Jefferson versus Madison County School District. Folks down there said it was all right for kids to say the Lord's Prayer in the classroom, but Lionel Caffey said no. No, it wasn't. Tell you what, if Adlai Stevenson had been elected, you'd be sitting with the son of the Attorney General now. How the hell's your dad?
I beg your pardon?
Still trying to overthrow the government?
Not any longer, sir.
Oh, no. Don't tell me he passed away.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry about that, son.
Thank you, sir. It was 7 years ago.
Shit. Don't I feel like an asshole now?
Not at all, sir.
Well, what can we do for you, Danny?
Not much at all, really. This is more of a formality. The JAG Corps insists we interview all the relevant witnesses.
The JAG Corps can be demanding that way.
Shouldn't take any longer than an hour.
Jane, check your watch. Go. Howdy!
You're lucky it's us, Willie. Could be worse. Could be somebody else.
Oh, shit.
So you were contacted by an NIS officer saying that Santiago had written him a letter saying that he knew of an illegal fence line shooting.
Yes.
And Santiago was going to reveal that name in exchange for a transfer.
Yes.
If there are any details that I'm leaving out, you should feel free to speak up.
Thank you.
It was at this point that you had a meeting with your two senior officers.
Yes.
And what happened then?
We both agreed that for Santiago's safety, he should be transferred off the base immediately.
Santiago was going to be transferred?
On the first available flight to the States, the 0600. 6 o'clock in the morning. 6 hours too late, as it turned out.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have. Thank you very much for your time.
Wait a minute, I have some questions.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Colonel, the attending physician, Dr. Stone, at 2 a.m. was unable to determine cause of death, yet at 5 a.m. he said it was poisoning. Do you have any idea what might have persuaded him?
You would have to ask Stone.
Did you meet with the doctor between 2 and 5 a.m.?
Joe?
Of course I did. One of my men was dead.
See? One of his men was dead. Let's go.
Lieutenant Kendrick, do you think Santiago was murdered?
I beg your pardon?
I'm just curious. You knew all of these men. Was Santiago murdered?
Commander, I believe in God and in his son, Jesus Christ. And because I do, I can say this. Santiago is dead, and that's a tragedy. But he's dead because he had no honor. He's dead because he had no code. And God was watching.
How do you feel about that theory?
Sounds good to me. Let's go.
I don't like you people.
Oh, look at this. Another Christmas card I'm not going to get.
Colonel Jessup, have you ever heard of the term Code Red?
Commander.
I've heard of the term, yes.
This past February, you received a memo from HQ Atlantic warning that the practice of Code Reds was no longer to be condoned by officers.
I submit to you whoever wrote that memo has never been on the working end of a Soviet-made Cuban AK-47 assault rifle. However, with the directive coming in from the commander, I gave it its due attention. What's your point, Joanne?
She has no point. She often has no point. It's part of her charm. Let's go.
My point is that what looks like a premeditated murder may have just been a botched up Code Red. Do Code Reds still happen on this base, Colonel?
The colonel doesn't have to answer that.
Yes, he does.
No, he really doesn't.
Yeah, he really does, Colonel.
You want to know about Code Reds? Fine. On the record, I tell you, I discourage the practice in accordance with the commander's directive. Off the record, I encourage the practice. If they happen to go on without my knowledge, so be it. I run my unit how I run my unit. You want to investigate me? Roll the dice. Take your chances. It's not like you're going to come down here, flash a badge, and make me nervous. I eat my breakfast 80 yards away from 4,000 Cubans or trained to kill me.
Let's go.
The colonel's got the jeep outside. He'll take you back to the flight line.
Thank you. I'll just need a copy of that transfer order.
Transfer order?
Yeah, Santiago's transfer order. You guys have paperwork on that sort of thing. I just need it for the file.
For the file?
Yeah.
Of course you can have a copy of the transfer order for the file. I'm here to help any way I can.
Thank you.
You believe that, don't you, Danny? That I'm here to help any way I can?
Sure.
The corporal can run you by personnel on the way down to the flight line. Then you can have all the transfer orders you want. But you're gonna have to ask me nicely.
What's that?
You're gonna have to ask me nicely. I don't mind the bullets and the bombs and the blood, Danny. I don't mind the heat and the stress and the fear. I don't want money. And I don't want medals. What I do want is for you to stand there in that pansy-ass white uniform of yours and with your Harvard mouth, extend me some goddamn courtesy and ask me nicely.
Don't do it, Danny. Colonel, if it's not too much trouble, I'd like a copy of that transfer order. Sir.
No problem. First thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers.
It's Shakespeare. Colonel?
I hate casualties, Matthew. A soldier smothers a grenade and saves the platoon. He's doing his job. There are casualties even in victory. The fabric of the base, the foundation of the unit, the spirit of the corps, these are things worth fighting for. And there is no one who doesn't know that, who's ever made the decision to put on a uniform. I hate casualties. Dawson and Downey, they're smothered in a grenade.
Just the same, sir. If I were you, I'd get myself a lawyer.
What are you gonna do when you get back?
What are you gonna do when you get back?
Take a shower and hit the rack.
Take a shower and hit the rack.
Oh no.
Not me.
Oh no.
Not us.
What are we gonna do when we get back?
Polish up for a sneak attack.
Officer on deck, Tan Hut!
Why did you care that Santiago was writing a letter?
Sir?
I want to know why you cared.
It was a code red, sir.
Jessup thinks you're full of shit. He doesn't think you were trying to train Santiago. He thinks you're trying to kill him.
That's not true, sir.
Then what's true? Why'd you care?
It was a code red, sir.
4,000 men on that base. Not a single person went into Santiago's room that night.
I was his squad leader, sir. It was my job.
Santiago had been screwing up for 6 months. Why did you care that night?
Sir, Private Santiago broke the chain.
Not you. Him.
Sir, Private Santiago broke the chain.
Did you hear what I just said?
Sir, Private Santiago broke the chain.
Why did you care?
We have a responsibility.
Bullshit! Why'd you do it?
Because God was watching!
What did Kendrick say to you?
God is watching, Lance Corporal Dawson. And he helps those who help themselves. And so do I. Get your house in order, Lance Corporal. Unit, corps, God, country. And duty to self simply isn't part of the equation. Get your house in order so that these men can believe in you again. Get your house in order so that the Lord our God can look down and say, there is United States Marine, and I will stand at his side. Get your house in order, and don't ever let anyone convince you that we're not at war.
You were given an order.
Yes, sir.
Kendrick ordered the code red.
Yes, sir.
She told the rest of the men to go back, and then she told... I gotta go talk to the prosecutor. Do you mind telling me why you never mentioned this before?
You never asked us, sir.
Cutie Pie's just not gonna win your place in my heart, Corporal. I get paid no matter how long you spend in jail.
Yes, sir. I know you do, sir.
Screw you, Harold.
What'd they say?
I want you to get off my back, I want you to get away from me, and I want you to get off this case.
Markinson went UA.
What?
Unauthorized absence.
I know what it means. When?
This morning after we left.
I'll talk to him in the morning.
I already tried. No one can find him.
You already tried? Do you know what the meaning of interfering with a government investigation is?
Yes, but I'm not. Because I am now Loudon Downey's attorney.
What the hell are you talking about?
Aunt Ginny, she said she'd feel more comfortable if I were more closely and personally involved in the case.
You frightened me. I'm now involved in a situation which the stakes couldn't be higher. I'm not going to take time out of my day to teach criminal proceedings to an internal affairs schoolgirl who doesn't know what the hell she's doing.
I just melt when you sugar talk me, Danny. What'd they say?
Kendrick ordered the code red.
What do we do now?
Find Jack Ross.
You talked to Kendrick.
I don't have to talk to
Hey,
them.
Alpha Bravo Charlie, they all say the same damn thing.
Kendrick told the rest of the men to leave. You talk to Kendrick.
I already talked to Kendrick. I told you before you went down there. She denies everything.
He talked to Kendrick?
Yeah,
You talked to Kendrick? Why would you think there was anything to deny?
I had a suspicion.
You had a suspicion and you chose not to share it with anyone!
It was just a suspicion, okay? Wait, Danny, who is this?
Commander Galloway, she is Downey's attorney. She's very pleased to meet you.
Ah, Ebenezer Galloway?
Look!
You want to charge me with something, ma'am?
How are you getting information
You want to charge me with something, ma'am?
Hey! In the interest of justice, let's take a deep knee bend.
Joe, Ross didn't know about the order. Because if he did, and he hadn't told us, he knows he'd be violating about 14 articles of the Code of Ethics. As it is, he's got enough to worry about. God forbid our client decide to plead not guilty and testify for the record that these things happen every day.
Okay. Kendrick specifically told them...
And then she specifically told Dawson and Downey to shave Santiago's head.
That's not what Kendrick said.
Kendrick is mean, Kendrick is crazy, and Kendrick is lying.
You have proof.
I have the defendants.
I have 23 men who aren't accused of murder, and a Marine lieutenant with 4 letters of commendation.
Why did Markinson go UA?
We'll never know.
You don't think I can subpoena Markinson?
You can try, but you won't find him.
What are you talking about, Jack?
You know what Markinson did for the first 17 of his 21 years in the Corps? CIC, Danny, counterintelligence. Markinson's gone. There is no Markinson. Colonel Jessup Starr is on the rise. They're giving me a lot of room to spare him embarrassment.
How much room?
I can knock it all down to assault and bad conduct. 2 years. They'll be home in 6 months.
He's got a PR problem, Danny. He can't afford to go to court.
Which is lucky for you, because you're turning green at the thought of it. Yes, taking this to court would be bad for me. It'd be bad for the Corps. I'd be held responsible for how the officers were treated as witnesses. But if you go to court, your boys go away for 40 years.
Okay.
Are we clear
Jack,
on that? We have to be clear on that. Once we leave this room, I have to put the hammer down. They'll be charged with the boatload. Murder, conspiracy, conduct unbecoming, and in a courtroom, you lose this case. Please, Danny. I'm your friend. I'm telling you, I think Kendrick's lying. I don't think you guys belong in jail, but I don't get to make that decision. I represent the people without passion. You see? And the people have a case. Tell them to plead to assault. All in all, it's not a bad week's work for the defense. That's the end of this negotiation. 9 o'clock tomorrow. I'll see you at the arraignment.
Fellas, I got some good news. You plead guilty to assault and the government prosecutor will recommend 2 years with probation after 6 months.
Wow, Kathy, you're such a good lawyer. How can we ever thank you? Did you hear what I said? Fellas, you're going home in 6 months. Fellas?
I'm afraid we can't do that, sir.
Do what?
Make a deal, sir.
What are you talking about?
We did nothing wrong, sir. We did our job. And if that has consequences, then I accept them. But I won't say I'm guilty, sir.
Did you? Did she put you up to this?
No.
We have a code, sir.
Well, zippity-doo-dah. You plead not guilty, and you're going to jail for the rest of your lives. You do what I'm telling you, and you're going home in 6 months.
What will we do then, sir?
When?
After 6 months, we get a dishonorable discharge, right?
Probably.
What will we do then, sir? We didn't join the Corps because we felt like it. We joined because it was a life decision. We wanted to live by a code, sir, and we found it in the Corps. And now you're asking us to sign a piece of paper that says we are not Marines. You're asking us to say we have no honor.
You guys are a freak show. I'm not going to talk to Dawson anymore. He doesn't like me and he's going to go to jail just to spite me. I want to get him a new lawyer.
All right. You make a motion tomorrow at the arraignment. The judge will ask you for the plea. I'll move to an 802 conference and you can explain the situation.
And that's that.
Yeah. One thing though, when you ask the judge for new counsel to be assigned, be sure and ask nicely.
What do you want from me?
I want you to let him be judged. I want you to stand up and make an argument.
Yeah, an argument that didn't work for Cali at My Lai, and an argument that didn't work for the Nazis at Nuremberg.
Okay, for Christ's sake, Sam. These guys aren't the Nazis. They're two teenage Marines that thought that what they were doing would result with no harm. Okay, they're not the Nazis.
Don't look now, Danny. But you're arguing a position.
Yeah? Tomorrow I'm getting him a new attorney.
Why are you so afraid to be a lawyer?
Okay, look.
Were Daddy's expectations really that high?
Hey! Dawson and Downey will have their day in court, but it'll be with another lawyer.
They don't need another lawyer, they need you.
Why?
Because you know how to win. I know how to fight, but you know how to win.
I know the law.
You know nothing about the law. You're a used car salesman, Daniel. You're an ambulance chaser with a rank. Live with that.
Sam, why does a junior grade with 2 months experience and a track record for plea bargaining get singled out to handle a murder case? Would it be to make sure that it never saw the inside of a courtroom?
Up in the morning with the rising sun.
Up in the morning with the rising sun.
Burn all day till the day is done.
Gonna run all day till the day is done.
Left, right,
1, 2,
go right,
3, 4.
left, right.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You got separate cells now, huh?
Yes, sir.
You want to hear a joke? You hear about the Japanese pilot that hated jazz? He bombed Pearl Bailey. I was 99% sure you weren't going to laugh at that. You want to go for a drink? It's good for your teeth and bones.
No, thank you, sir.
Look, I don't know how to tell you this, but you gotta do it. You gotta let me make a deal for you. I mean, Harold, it's 6 months. I mean, in the end, what difference does it make?
Do you think we were right?
It doesn't matter what I think.
Do you think we were right?
It isn't a matter of right and wrong.
Yes, it is. It always is. That's something people like you say, but it is. Do you think we're guilty?
What do you mean people like me? Do you think we're guilty? I think you'd lose.
You're such a coward. I can't believe they let you wear a uniform.
You're going to Leavenworth and there's nothing I can do about it. I could have gotten you 6 months, Harold. I'm not going to feel responsible for you. MP! What happened to saluting an officer when he leaves the room?
Ten hut.
All right, where are we?
Docket number 411275, VR5. Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, United States vs. Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, and Private First Class Loudon Downey. Defendants are charged with murder in the second degree, conspiracy to commit murder, and conduct of becoming a United States Marine.
Does the defense wish to enter a plea?
Yeah. They're not guilty.
Enter a plea of not guilty for the defendants. We'll adjourn until 1000, 1 week from today, at which time this court will reconvene as a general court-martial. I'll see counsel in my chambers, now.
10 hut.
Say, boys.
Yes, sir.
Don't look at me and say yes, sir, like I just asked you to clean the latrine. You're on the Marines right now. You're in jail. Now get some rest, and don't speak to anyone unless it's us three. You're dismissed.
Danny.
We were following an order.
An illegal order.
You think these guys know what an illegal order is? I don't know what an illegal order is.
Any decent human being would know that you don't do that.
They're not allowed to question orders, period.
All right, then what are the magic words? What's the big deal? I give orders every day and nobody follows them.
We work where there are softball games and marching bands. They work where you gotta wear camouflage or you're gonna get shot. What are you looking at?
What made you change your mind?
Not you.
The law says you can't do what they did. It's as simple as that.
It's not as simple as that. We position the truth. What they teach you.
To tell the truth, now position it.
Well, they taught you wrong.
We're wasting time.
Hey, Clinton. I'll decide how time is used and how it's wasted. If you have a problem with that, Downey can stand separate trial.
You're still an asshole, you know.
We'll work at my place at 8 o'clock every night. Joe, before you come over, buy a carton of legal pads, half a dozen boxes of red pens, and half a dozen boxes of blue pens. Sam, get a carton of desk lamps and some card tables. I'm going to get started on the medical report. I'm going to need the pro-con reports of Santiago, Dawson, and Downey.
I'll get them.
Sam, work with Dawson on this. I want him to be a razor-sharp order taker. Step forward, Marine.
Okay.
And Joe, work with Downey. 2 hours a day. Get him to stop squinting when he talks. He looks shifty. All I got at my place are Yoo-Hoos and Sugar Smacks. So if you want anything, bring it. And don't wear that cologne. It wrecks my concentration.
Really?
I was talking to Sam. So this is what the inside of a courtroom looks like.
Excuse me, sir. Commander Stone to see you.
Thank you, Tom. Walter, any news?
No, not yet, sir. We've still got a few more tests to run, and they'll take a while. Even at that, I'm not certain I'm going to be able to make a determination.
I see.
Colonel, it would help us to know what happened.
It was a code red. The men were shaving his head.
Now, the boy didn't die of a haircut.
He died because that's what the Lord saw fit.
Mary, Mother of God, Jane, give the Lord a rest, will you please? You look like hell. You get some rest yourself.
Yes, sir.
You're dismissed. Walter, I don't want to pin you down anything. I know you got more tests to run. Let me ask you this. What are the possibilities at this point?
It could have been a number of things, Nathan. They used a gag, so it could have gone stuck in his throat. There could have been poison on the rag. He could have had the hell scared out of him and had a heart attack, but like I said, we may never be certain. Sometimes it's just a judgment call.
A heart attack?
Oh, he has a slight possibility of a coronary disorder as suggested by his medical history. So, Nathan, what the hell kind of...
Why wasn't the
nonsense
coronary
is-
disorder detected before?
I said the possibility...
That's not an answer.
The symptoms, Santiago symptoms, were most likely pointing to 100 far less debilitating conditions. There were no red flags.
Is that what you're going to say to a board of inquiry?
I don't understand.
Doctor, you give these men a thorough examination every 3 months. And every 3 months, you send Santiago back on that wall with a clean bill of health. Am I wrong?
No. The symptoms were...
Walter, you tell me. What can happen to a doctor's career because of something like this? You know what I think happened? I don't think there was a code red. I think that Dawson and Downey got it into their heads to kill Santiago. I think, like you said, I think there had to have been poison on that rag.
It's a possibility.
Walter, how long have we known each other?
4 years.
Close on to 5 now. And the first thing I did when I got this command was request your assignment to the hospital. And the first thing I'll do when I leave is tell the folks in the situation room I want Walter with the big stones coming with me. I put my trust in you, Walter. I put the lives of my Marines in your hands. That's why I think it had to be poison. Go back and run those tests. You're the doctor. You're the damn good doctor. And anything you say, I'll live with it. There's going to be an investigation of the cause of death. And I'll do whatever I can for you, Walter. You're dismissed.
Thank you, sir.
Tom!
Sir.
Find me Captain Markinson.
Sir, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, sir.
Harold, why do you do that? I'm representing you in a murder trial. Do you honestly think that I don't know who you are? I thought we were through with that shit the night I struck an enlisted man without cause or provocation. Which I couldn't help but notice you didn't mention to anyone. Look, I just came by to give you some words of, give you encouragement. Sit up straight. Look, I know I'm talking to a brick wall here, but there are 2 things I'd like you to consider before we start. The first is that Commander Galloway, Lieutenant Weinberg, and I are doing everything we possibly can for you. And the second is that we're going to get creamed. Now, I know that's not very confidence-inspiring, but
It's all right. I'm not the one who needs confidence anymore. After all, you have to accept the consequences too. Right?
you see, they're not my consequences to accept.
That just makes it a little bit worse, doesn't it, sir?
Harold, we're going to lose, and we're going to lose huge. Sit up straight. Last chance, I'll flip you for it.
10, but
Too late.
all those attending this General Court-Martial, stand forward and you shall be heard. Presiding is Colonel Julius Alexander Randolph. God save the United States of America.
Before the judge advocate calls his first witness, I want to get some language clear. That without objection, the sworn statements of the defendants have been read to the members and entered into the court record.
No objection, sir.
No objection.
And that without objection, the sworn statements made by 21 members of Rifle Security Company have been read to the members and entered into the court record.
No objection, sir.
No objection.
Is the government prepared to present its case?
We are, sir.
Please, the court, may I ask why there are so many MPs present?
Are they making you nervous?
No, sir. They're projecting the image that my clients are dangerous and or a flight risk.
The court might alert Commander Galloway to the fact that the defendants are on trial for murder.
The defendants, who have not been charged with any crimes, are in handcuffs. And if they were to escape, I'm sure the 4 armed guards at the door would stop them. In fact, it seems that almost every Marine on this base is here today.
Judge, the Provost Marshal felt that the defendants should be a security priority. The Provost Marshal is in charge of security on this base. I was following his advice.
The Provost Marshal's going to feel like an idiot if one of our ships gets stolen during this trial.
Take your seat, Commander IA.
Government calls Commander Stone.
Call Commander Stone.
Dr. Stone, have you been previously sworn?
I have.
Would you state your full name, rank, and current billet for the record, please?
Commander Walter Stone. My billet is Internal Medicine Specialist, Guantanamo Bay, Naval Hospital.
Thank you, Doctor. Have a seat. Now, how long have you been attached to the hospital at Gitmo?
From October 1st of last year to the present.
And on 7 July of this year, did you have occasion to treat Private First Class William Santiago?
I did.
Would you describe that treatment?
PFC Santiago was brought into the emergency room on the morning of the 7th at 0010. He was coughing up blood and suffering from a lack of oxygen. He then proceeded to lose consciousness at 0035.
And what were your observations upon examination?
The most obvious things were the wrist marks that had the ropes and such, of course, part of my notes, and also that his head was partially shaved. X-rays in the lab work revealed that his lungs were filled with the fluid bilaterally due to the profound acidosis, which is to say a buildup of acid in the lungs.
Now, what causes acid to build up in a person's lungs?
Well, when the muscles and other cells of the body start burning sugar instead of oxygen, then lactic acid is produced.
And from the moment that the cells begin burning sugar to the moment that the lungs are filled with fluid, now how long does that take?
Ordinarily, about an hour.
Doctor, you say ordinarily. Is this an unusual case?
Yes.
How so?
In Santiago's case, the reaction took less than 15 minutes.
Now, why was the reaction sped up in Santiago's case?
Well, he had to have ingested a poison of some kind.
Wait, Your Honor, we object at this point. The witness can only speculate as to what caused the reaction.
Dr. Stone is an expert medical witness. In this courtroom, his opinion isn't considered speculation.
The commander is an internist, not a criminologist, and the facts here are ultimately inconclusive.
A point which I'm confident you'll illustrate on your cross-examination, so I'm sure you won't mind if the doctor's opinion is omitted now.
Not at all, sir. Objection withdrawn.
Dr. Stone, did Willie Santiago die of poisoning?
Absolutely.
Are you aware that the lab report and the coroner's report showed no traces of poison?
Yes, I am.
Then how do you justify
There are literally dozens of toxins which are virtually undetectable under certain circumstances. The nature of the acidosis is the compelling factor in this issue.
Thank you, sir. I have no further questions.
All right. So, doctor.
Don't call him doctor.
Right, good. Commander. Other than the rope marks, was there any other signs of external damage?
No.
No bruises?
No.
Scrapes?
No.
Cuts?
No.
No broken bones or fat lip?
No.
Commander, other than the rope marks, was there any signs of violence?
You mean aside from the dead body?
Shit. I walk into that one every goddamn time.
The witness?
Commander, my clients did not say that they didn't put poison on the rag. So what I'd like to do is ask you a couple questions, see if there could be any other explanation.
Layman.
I'm sorry. A layman? You're talking to someone that got a C+ in biochem. Twice. If I understand correctly, the fact that this reaction took 15 minutes instead of 60, is what led to your conclusion that he was poisoned.
Yes.
60 minutes is about average?
Yes.
And some people might be more, and some people might be less.
A little bit more, or a little bit less.
Commander, is it possible for someone to have some sort of affliction which would render them less capable of withstanding the lactic acid?
Now, if someone had a cerebral disorder, then it's possible it would take less than an hour.
What about a coronary disorder, or condition I think it's called? What about a coronary condition?
Lieutenant, we are talking about an 18-year-old Marine who is in extraordinary physical shape.
The Marine Corps requires them to have a certain standard of physical fitness, isn't that right?
Standards which are even higher for Marines in the RSC.
In fact, you give them a thorough examination once every 3 months.
That's right.
Commander, is it possible for someone to have some sort of coronary condition in which the initial warning signs were so mild that they might escape a doctor under a routine medical exam?
You have to understand, in medicine, though, we like to be exact.
That's the beauty about being a prosecutor for the defense. I don't have to worry about exact, I just have to worry about, is it possible? Is it possible?
There would have been symptoms.
What kind of symptoms?
There are 100 different symptoms.
Chest pains?
Yes.
Shortness of breath?
Certainly.
Fatigue?
I suppose so. The heart wasn't always pumping blood to the brain at the correct period of time.
Commander, this is a report that you signed ordering that Santiago be put on restricted duty. Would you read your handwritten remarks?
Initial testing negative. Patient complains of shortness of breath, chest pains, and fatigue. Restricted from running distances over 5 miles for 1 week.
Thank you. I have no more questions.
Initial testing negative. That's what it said there. Now, what kind of tests were these?
Now, all manner of...
Cardiovascular tests?
Yes.
Cardiopulmonary tests, physical strength, endurance. In fact, in all, how many separate tests were administered to Santiago?
17.
Did any of those 17 tests indicate that there might be something wrong with his heart?
No.
Doctor, the medical equipment you have at the CCU of the Guantanamo Bay Naval Hospital, would you describe it as modern or outdated?
Oh, it's very modern equipment.
In fact, it's the same medical equipment used in the CCU of the Bethesda Naval Hospital, right here in Maryland.
That's right.
The same Bethesda Naval Hospital where the President of the United States goes for his medical checkups.
Correct.
Doctor, you've held a license to practice medicine for 20 years. You are board certified in internal medicine. You are chief of internal medicine at a hospital which serves over 7,000 people. In your opinion, was Willie Santiago poisoned?
Please, the court, we renew our objection to Commander Stone's testimony and ask that it be stricken from the record. Furthermore, we'd like the court to instruct the jury to lend no weight to this witness's testimony.
The objection is overruled, Commander.
Your Honor, the defense strenuously objects and asks for counsel in chambers so that one might hear reasoning before ruling on the objection.
The objection of the defense has been heard and overruled. This witness is an expert and the court will hear his opinion.
Exception.
Noted.
Doctor, in your expert opinion, was Willie Santiago poisoned?
No question about it.
Thank you, sir. I have no more questions.
Commander, you can step down.
Please, the court, while the government reserves its right to call rebuttal witnesses should the need arise, we rest our case.
We'll stand in recess until Monday morning, at which time the defense can call its first witness.
10, hut!
I strenuously object. Is that how it works? Objection. Overruled. No, 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 I strenuously object. Well, if you strenuously object, let me take a moment to reconsider.
I got it on the record.
You also got it in the jury's head that we're afraid of the doctor. You object once so they can hear you say he's not a criminologist, but any more than that, and it looks like the great cross we just did was a lot of fancy lawyer tricks, which is just what Ross was hoping for. See? It's the difference between paper law and trial. Christ! You even had the judge saying Stone was an expert.
She made a mistake. Let's not relive it.
I'm sorry. I'm in a pissy mood. I'm gonna go call my wife. I'll see you tomorrow.
Why do you hate them so much?
They beat up on a weakling. And that's all they did. The rest is just smoke-filled, coffeehouse crap. They tortured and tormented a weaker kid. And it wasn't just that night. Read the letters. It was 8 months. They beat him up, and they killed him. And why? Because he couldn't run very fast.
Do you think the argument we're going to make on Monday is legally sound?
I think the argument we're going to make on Monday is morally reprehensible.
Since when do lawyers get to decide what's morally reprehensible?
Since when do Marines get to decide which laws they're going to
All
obey?
right. That's enough. Joe, Sam's working his ass off for these guys. He doesn't have to be friends with them. And Sam, the only Marines we're concerned with are Dawson and Downey. Now everyone take the night off.
Danny, I'm sorry.
No. We've been working 18-hour days for 2 weeks. Take the night off. Spend some time with your family. And Joe, do whatever it is when you're not here.
Shouldn't we?
No. Take the night off.
Okay. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, I thought we did pretty good today, but you have to hand it to Ross. He's very good.
He asked 7 questions on his redirect and sent the jury to bed with the image that Stone was the president's doctor. He put Stone in his pocket with 7 questions. I think he's just warming up.
Well, that was depressing.
How much damage did I cause?
It doesn't matter.
Are you saying it doesn't matter because it's water under the bridge, or it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter?
I'm saying it doesn't matter because we'll never know, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Good. That's a good attitude.
What made you want to become a lawyer for the Navy?
They wouldn't let me drive the boats or fly the planes.
You're like 7 of the strangest women I've ever met.
I know. I'm the girl guys like you hated in the 6th grade.
Joe, you're the girl guys like me tortured in the 6th grade. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, why do you like him so much?
At this moment, there is no one in the world Dawson hates more than you. And if someone fired a gun at you, he'd stand in front of the bullet without thinking twice.
Don't worry about the doctor. This trial starts Monday.
Oh, hey, can I help you?
God, I hope so. I'm beginning to run around all morning. Gilbert Hamilton, Baltimore Sun-Times.
Ooh, good sports section.
The best.
What can I do for you?
I'm doing a 2-part feature on different air bases around the world, but I'm focusing mostly on Guantanamo Bay, Andrews Air Force Base, and the Naval Air Station.
Oh, sounds interesting.
Do you keep a record of incoming and outgoing flights?
Oh, anything that isn't classified, sure. We have copies of all the Daily Tower Chief's logs.
Is that right?
Sure, we have incoming, outgoing flights, passenger manifests, but we just have the copies, though. The originals, they're at the base.
No problem. I need a copy of the Tower Chief's logs for Andrews and Guantanamo for the evening of July 6th and the morning of July 7th.
Sure thing. Just a minute. I need to see a fleet requisition form and a 710 signed by 2 officers over the rank of lieutenant.
Hey!
I'm sorry, but I can't show you the logs without a 710 signed by 2 officers over the rank of lieutenant as well as a fleet requisition form.
I understand. Is the duty officer here?
No, sir. He's at a department meeting.
Gee whiz. Is there anyone else I can speak to?
Nope. Everyone's out to lunch. So for the next half hour, I'm the only one here.
Let's go get some logs.
I wanna be a recon ranger.
I wanna be a recon ranger.
I wanna live a life of danger.
I wanna live a life of danger.
Stand tall,
Do it again.
sing it loud.
3, 4.
Left, right.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Stack row.
Ten hut.
Lieutenant Cappy, are you prepared to call your first witness?
Yes, sir. Defense calls Corporal Howard.
Corporal, have you been previously sworn?
Yes, sir.
Would you state your full name, rank, and current billet for the record, please?
Corporal Jeffrey Owen Howard, Windward Rifle Security Company, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Thank you, Corporal. You may have a seat.
Corporal, are you a little nervous?
No, sir.
Would you like a glass of water?
No, thank you, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Well, if you'd like a glass of water, you'd like to take a little break, you let us know.
Judge, the witness has said twice already he doesn't want any more water. Can we just proceed?
Lieutenant?
Yes, sir. Corporal, you've been called in front of the court today to give us a better insight into the function of the Marines at RC Windward. You feel free to use the map that's behind you.
Of course. Thank you, sir. You see, it's really simple. The base is divided into two halves.
Corporal?
Yes, sir?
You're going to have to wait for me to ask you a question.
Oh, of course. I'm sorry, sir.
Would you give us a general layout of the base, please?
Of course, sir. The base is divided into two halves, the divided being Guantanamo Bay, each side with their own rifle security company. On the left side, you have RC Leeward, and the right side, you have RC Windward.
What are the function of the Marines in RC Windward?
To provide ground support in the event of an enemy engagement, and day-to-day security on the fence line.
How long do the Marines spend on the fence?
Each Marine is on for a week and off for a week.
And how long do they spend on watch?
6 hours on, 6 hours off.
6 hours on, 6 hours off. 1 week on, 1 week off, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And are the sentries armed?
Yes, sir.
What are they armed with?
Sir?
What are you armed with, Corporal?
Weapons.
A pea shooter, a pocket knife, a slingshot?
Pea shooter, pocket knife. That was really funny, sir.
Permission to lead the witness?
By a leash, if necessary.
You're armed with M16 rifles and 60 rounds of ammunition, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You know what a code red is?
Sir, a code red is a disciplinary action brought against a Marine who's fallen out of line.
Name some ways a Marine could fall out of line.
Being late for company or platoon meetings, letting his barracks fall into disorder, letting his personal appearance become substandard, behaving in a manner unbecoming a Marine, falling back on a run.
Have you ever received a code red?
Yes, sir.
Would you describe it?
Well, one day we were doing 7-man assault drills, and my weapon slipped. See, it was over 100 degrees outside. My palms were sweaty, and I dropped my weapon, sir.
And what happened then?
That night, the guys on my barracks threw a blanket over me and took turns punching me in the arm for 5 minutes. Then they poured glue in my hands.
Okay.
And it worked too, because I ain't never dropped my weapon since.
Object.
We're gonna have to strike that, Corporal, but it was a nice try. What happened after they poured glue on your hands and punched you in the arm?
They took me over to Post 44 and bought me a beer.
They gave you a code red, then they bought you a beer?
Yes, sir.
Corporal, were you acquainted with Private Santiago?
Yes, sir.
Did you come into contact with them every day?
Yes, sir.
Were your squads on the fence together?
Yes, sir.
Did you have drills together?
Yes, sir.
Did you share a barracks hall?
Yes.
Was Private Santiago ever late for a platoon meeting?
Yes, sir.
Was his barracks ever in disorder?
Yes, sir.
Did he ever let his appearance become substandard?
Yes.
Did he ever fall back on a run?
All the time, sir.
Did he ever, in your estimation, behave in a way unbecoming a Marine?
Absolutely, sir, yes.
And prior to the night of July 6th, did Santiago ever receive a code red?
No, sir.
No? You got a code red because your palms were sweaty. Why not this embarrassment and disgrace of a Marine? Why did Santiago not receive a code red?
How was Corporal Dawson? He was Santiago's squad leader. He said that no code red, sir. No one would ever go near Santiago. The guys would talk tough about him, but when it came down to it, they wouldn't touch him. Too afraid of Corporal Dawson, sir.
Object. The witness is characterizing.
I'll rephrase. Corporal, did you ever want to give Santiago a code red?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you?
Because Dawson kicked my butt, sir.
That's good enough. Your witness.
Corporal, I hold here the Marine Guide and General Information Handbook for new recruits. Are you familiar with this book?
Yes, sir.
Have you read it?
Yes, sir.
Good. Would you turn to the section that deals with code reds, please?
Sir?
Well, just flip to the page that discusses code reds.
Code reds aren't in this book, sir.
Ah, I see. Let's turn then to the Marine Infantry Handbook. Would you find us the section that deals with code reds and read it aloud to us, please?
Sir, you see, code red is a military term that I think we only use it down at Gitmo, sir.
Ah.
I'm not sure.
We're in luck then. The Marine Corps Guide for Sentry Duty, Nav Base, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Now, I assume we'll find the term code red and its definition in this book, and then we can move on. Am I correct, Corporal?
No, sir.
No? Corporal Howard, I'm a Marine. Is there no book, no pamphlet, no set of orders or regulations that let me know, as a Marine, one of my duties is to perform code reds?
No, sir. No books, sir.
No further questions.
Corporal, would you mind pointing out to me in this book where the men's mess hall is?
Sir, that's not in the book.
No? You mean to tell me in your 13 months at Gitmo you never had a meal?
No, sir. 3 squares a day.
I'm confused. If the men's mess hall isn't pointed out in this book, how'd you know where to go?
I guess I just followed the crowd at chow time, sir.
No further questions.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take a 5-minute recess. Don't anybody go too far.
10 Hut.
Hey, Danny, can I talk to you alone for a minute?
Sure.
That was nice right there, that redirect on Howard.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want this to end. Now. I don't want to have Kendrick take the stand.
Yeah, she's a real day at the beach, isn't she?
Oh, yeah. I was up half the night with her. She's bright, articulate, nothing in the closet. But you're going to make a meal out of her.
What can I do for you?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. See, you're putting on this entertaining defense, but it's going nowhere. Everyone expects you to do whatever you have to, but you start looking like you're enjoying it, and pretty soon you're going to find yourself practicing law on a weather ship outside of Bayonne, New Jersey.
We've got 2 minutes to the Reverend Kendrick. What are you getting at?
Don't put her on the stand. I have to protect these guys. I can't allow them to look like clowns. Stop now. 3 years apiece.
6 weeks ago, we were talking about 6 months.
6 weeks ago, your clients pissed on 6 months. 6 weeks ago, your clients weren't a daily feature in the Washington Post, and neither were you. You can tap dance all you want. At the end of the day, all you've got is the testimony of 2 men accused of murder.
Tell me about it.
You got bullied into this room. By everybody. Dawson, Galloway, shit. I practically dared you. You got bullied into this room, even though not for 1 second did you think you could win. You got bullied into this room by the memory of a dead lawyer who might have stood a chance.
You're a lousy-ass softball player, Jack. Ted Hut!
You guys are going down, and I can't stop it anymore.
Defense calls Lieutenant Jane Jillian Kendrick.
Call Lieutenant Kendrick.
Lieutenant, have you been previously sworn?
Yes, I have.
Would you state your full name, rank, and current billet for the record, please?
Lieutenant Jane Jillian Kendrick, Executive Officer, Rifle Security Company Windward, Marine Barracks, Guantanamo Bay.
Thank you. You may have a seat.
Lieutenant Kendrick, in your opinion, was Santiago a good Marine?
I'd say he was about average.
We have 3 proficiency reports in which you signed for Santiago, giving him a ranking of below average.
Yes, Private Santiago is below average. I didn't see the need in trampling on a man's grave.
Well, we appreciate that, but you're under oath now, and as unpleasant as it may be, we'd all just as soon hear the truth.
I'm aware of my oath.
Lieutenant, here we have 3 pro-con reports that you signed for Lance Corporal Dawson. On the first 2, you gave him a rating of exceptional. But on this final one, dated June 9th, you gave him a ranking of below average. It's this last report I'd like to talk about for a second.
That's fine.
Records show that during infantry training school, Dawson had a ranking of exceptional, perfect. And since then, most of his squad, at least half of them, have made full corporal, while Dawson has remained a lance corporal. Was his promotion held up because of this last report?
I'm sure it was.
Can you recall why you gave him such a poor rating?
I'm sure I don't. I have many men in my charge, Lieutenant. I write many reports.
Do you recall an incident involving PFC Curtis Barnes in which he was caught stealing liquor from the officers' club?
Yes.
Did you report Curtis Barnes to the proper authorities?
I have 2 books at my bedside, Lieutenant, the Marine Code of Conduct and the King James Bible. The only proper authorities I'm aware of are my commanding officer, Colonel Nathan R. Just, and the Lord our God.
Lieutenant Kendrick, at your request, I can have the report show of your lack of acknowledgement as this court as a proper authority.
Objection.
Sustained.
Argumentative.
Watch yourself, counselor.
Yes, sir. Lieutenant, did you report Curtis Barnes to the proper authorities?
I remember thinking very highly of Private Barnes and not wanting to see his record tarnished by a formal charge.
You prefer to handle this within the unit?
Yes, I did.
Colonel, Lieutenant, do you know what a code red is?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever ordered a code red?
No, I have not.
Lieutenant, do you remember giving Dawson and 2 other men an order that Curtis Barnes be given no food or drink except for water over the period of 5 days?
That's a distortion of the truth. Private Barnes was placed on barracks restriction. He was given water and vitamin supplements, and I assure you that at no time was his health in danger.
Your Honor, I'd like the court to be reminded that Lieutenant Kendrick is not a medical expert and doesn't have the first clue as to whether or not Curtis Barnes' health was in danger.
The members are cautioned.
Lieutenant, wouldn't this form of, or this order be considered a code red?
Not necessarily.
Lieutenant, if I called the other 379 members of RC, would they say it was a code red?
Please, the court. The witness can't possibly testify as to what 379 other Marines would say. We object to this entire line of questioning as argumentative and irrelevant badgering of the witness.
Lieutenant Caffey, I would now remind you that you are questioning a Marine officer with an impeccable service record.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. I'm overruling your objection.
Your Honor, I'm withdrawing my question. Lieutenant, was Dawson given such a poor rating because he was caught sneaking in food to Curtis Barnes?
Object. Not so fast. Lieutenant?
Corporal Dawson was found to be below average because he committed a crime.
Crime? Dawson was giving a hungry guy some food. What crime did he commit?
Corporal Dawson disobeyed an order.
And because he exercised his own right, he was punished, isn't that right?
He disobeyed an order.
But it wasn't a real order, was it? He wasn't being asked to secure a hill or radio for battalion aid. Surely a Marine of Dawson's clear skill and intelligence can determine on his own which orders he's going to follow and which might be, say, illegal? Lieutenant? Can Corporal Dawson decide on his own which orders he's going to obey?
No, he cannot.
Unless he learned after the Curtis Barnes incident, isn't that right?
I would think so.
You know so, don't you, Lieutenant?
Object. Sustained.
One final question. If you had ordered Corporal Dawson and Downey to give Santiago a code red,
Court, I told these men not to touch Santiago.
would it be reasonable to think that they might have disobeyed you again?
Lieutenant, don't answer that question.
She doesn't have to. I'm through.
Lieutenant Kendrick, did you order the defendants to give Willie Santiago a code red? Lieutenant Kendrick, did you?
No, I did not.
This is on your doorstep. It's marked urgent and personal.
What is it?
My x-ray vision is failing me today. Open the damn thing.
Hey, Mr. Sunshine.
Knock it off. I'm going to the kitchen. Anyone want anything?
Yoo-hoo.
Sam,
I'll take a yoo-hoo.
you want a yoo-hoo?
Yeah,
Okay.
I want a yoo-hoo. Is that so difficult to understand? He asks for a yoo-hoo, and it's like he's asking for the correct time. But I ask for a yoo-hoo, and the world is coming to an end.
What's in the envelope, Danny?
It's from Markinson.
To Lieutenant Junior Grade Daniel A. Caffey, United States Naval Reserve, Judge Advocates General Court. Lieutenant Caffey, I know the following to be true. Colonel Jessup had no intention of transferring Santiago off of the base. The transporter you secured was written the morning of your arrival, 6 days after Santiago's death. Jessup's claim that the 0600 was the first available transportation off the base was a lie. There was a flight that left for Andrews Air Force Base 7 hours earlier. I've enclosed the 2 Tower Chief's logs. You can see that even though Colonel Jessup has removed the departure log from the Guantanamo log, the arrival entry can be found in the Andrews log. Lieutenant, please don't waste valuable time trying to find me. Save these men. Captain Matthew Andrew Morganson, United States Marine Corps.
Son of a bitch. I don't believe this. Son of a bitch.
I'll go call the DOD and find out if they're missing anything.
We're home. I've got to tell Loudon.
Forget about Downey. I need you to pull every string you can. FBI, CIA, let's hire our own guys if we have to. We need to find Markinson. We have to have him.
Why? We have the letter and the logbooks.
The letter's typed and there's no signature, and the logbooks are photocopies.
They're not admissible.
Good. A navally orderly was held up at gunpoint by a man posing to be a reporter for the Baltimore Sun-Times.
I'll get the originals.
Don't bother. Jessup knows about the robbery by now. He's fixed the original Andrews logs. I'd bet money on it.
Then we'll find Markinson. How hard can it be?
The man walked into the Pentagon and stole government property at gunpoint. And we didn't know about it until he sent us a note.
And Jessup can just fix logbooks?
Is Downey ready for tomorrow?
Yes.
Is he solid?
Absolutely.
Do you think we can find Markinson?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
We don't have a discovery obligation. Keep this from Ross for 24 hours.
Ten, hut!
Defense calls PFC Loudon Downey.
Private, would you raise your right hand and place your left hand on this Bible? Do you swear that the testimony you will give today in this general court-martial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Private. Have a seat.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Santiago, I was William's company commander. I knew your son vaguely, which is to say I knew his name. In a matter of time, the trial of the 2 men charged with your son's murder will be concluded, and 7 men and 2 women who you've never met before will try to give you an explanation as to why your son is dead. They will most likely give you many explanations. As for my part, I have done my best to bring the truth to light. I have done it, not in the uniform in which I have served for 21 years, but in costumes and in shadows. I was a defender, and at this very moment, I am being pursued by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Naval Investigative Service, the Central Intelligence Agency, and the military police, and I can't possibly do this anymore. Because the truth is this: your son is dead for only one reason. I wasn't strong enough to stop. Always, Captain Matthew Andrew Markinson, United States Marine Corps.
We were taken into custody by the military police officers and taken to the brig.
Private, I just have one last question. Why did you give Santiago code red on the night of July 6th?
The code red was ordered by the executive officer, Lieutenant Kendrick.
Thank you very much. Your witness.
Private, for the day of 6th July, the switch log has you down at post 39 until 1600, is that correct?
I'm sure it is, sir. They keep that log pretty good.
How far is it from post 39 to the Windward Barracks?
It's a ways, sir. It's a hike.
About how far by jeep?
About 10, 15 minutes, sir.
Have you ever had to walk it?
Yes, sir. That day. Friday. I was DDL. The pickup private. Sir, that's what we call the guy who drops us at our post and picks us up. Also because he can get girls in New York City. The pickup private got a flat. Right at 39. He pulled up and blam! A blowout with no spare. The two of us had to double time it back to the barracks.
Now, if it's 10 or 15 minutes by jeep, I'm guessing it must be a good hour by foot. Am I close?
Pickup and I did it in 45 flats, sir.
Not bad. And you say that your assault on Santiago was the result of an order that Lieutenant Kendrick gave at a platoon meeting at 16:20 hours?
Yes, sir.
Wait, you just said that you didn't make it back to the Windward Barracks until 16:45.
Sir?
If you didn't make it back to the Windward Barracks until 16:45, then how could you be at a platoon meeting at 16:20?
You see, sir, there was a flat tire.
Private, did Lieutenant Kendrick ever actually tell you to give Santiago a code red?
Me?
Please, the court. I'd like a recess in order to confer with my client.
Who told you to give Santiago the code red?
Ma'am?
Private Downey has rights.
Private Downey has been read his rights, Commander.
Ma'am?
The question will be repeated.
Who told you to give Santiago a code red?
Your Honor!
Take your seat.
How? Did Corporal Dawson tell you to do it? Don't look at him. Look at me.
Sir?
Private. Answer the lieutenant's question.
Yes, Lieutenant. I was given an order by my squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson of the United States Marine Corps, and I followed it.
What are you gonna do when you get back?
What are you gonna do when you get back?
Take a shower and hit the rack.
Take a shower and hit the rack.
Oh no,
Not me,
oh no,
not us.
What are we gonna do when we get back?
Polish up for sneak attack.
Where do you think he is? Downey thought the order came directly from Kendrick. He never distinguished between... Danny, I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Sam and I were just talking how we need to put someone on the stand who can talk about implied orders. And then maybe go to Dawson and go back to Downey.
Maybe. If we try hard enough, we can get Dawson charged with the kidnapping of the Lindbergh baby.
Are you drunk?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll go make some coffee. We've got a long night ahead.
You hear that, Sam? Just gonna make some coffee. He wasn't even there. He wasn't at the meeting. That was an important piece of information, don't you think?
It was just a setback, but we fix it. We fix it and we get to Markinson.
Parkinson's dead. Yeah. He got into full dress uniform, drew a nickel-plated revolver out of his holster, and shot himself in the head. He was at the Beltway Motor Lodge. It's 3 blocks from here. And since we're all out of witnesses, I thought I'd drink a little.
I still think we can win.
Maybe you should drink a little.
We go to Randolph. Right now, we get a 24-hour continuance.
Why would we do that?
To subpoena Colonel Jessup.
What?
Hold on a second.
No.
Just hear me
No,
out.
No. I won't hear you out and I won't listen to you. Your passion is compelling, Joe. It's also useless. Because Dawson and Downey needed a trial lawyer today.
You walk away from this now and you've sealed their fate.
Their fate was sealed the moment Santiago died.
Why did you ask for the transfer order?
What?
In Cuba. Why did you ask for the transfer order? Why did you ask nicely?
What does it matter why?
Why?
Because I wanted the damn transfer order.
Bullshit! You know you could have gotten it from one of a dozen departments in the Pentagon. You didn't want the transfer order. You wanted to see Jessup's reaction when you asked for it. You had an instinct and it was confirmed by Markinson. Now, damn it, let's put Jessup on the stand and end this.
What possible good will come from putting Jessup on the stand?
He told Kendrick to order the code red.
Oh, he did? And I assume you have proof, right? Oh, no, wait, I forgot you were sick the day they taught law at law school.
You put him on the stand and you get it from him.
Oh, yeah, we get it from him. Colonel, is it true you ordered the code red, coerced the doctor, forged the logbooks, and forged a transfer order?
Look, we're all...
I'm sorry. Time's up. Thank you for playing. What do we have for the losers, Judge? Well, for the Marines, it's a lifetime at Fort Leavenworth, where every day is Valentine's Day for our young Marines. And for Lieutenant Campy, that's right, it's a court-martial. After falsely accusing a highly ranking officer of conspiracy and perjury, Lieutenant Campy will enjoy a long and prosperous career teaching typewriter maintenance at the Rocco Columbus School for Women. Thank you for playing. Should we or should we not follow the advice of the galactically stupid?
I'm sorry I lost you your set of steak knives.
Get the hell out! Sam, stop cleaning up. Stop cleaning up. Want a drink?
No.
Is your father proud of you?
Don't do this to yourself, Danny.
Is he very proud of you?
Yes.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he bores the shit out of the neighbors, cousins, people he works with. Sam made law review today. He's making an argument. He's arguing. I think my dad would have enjoyed seeing me graduate from law school. I think he would have enjoyed that very much. You know, the man spent half his life defending the Constitution, and the other half trying to prove that he wasn't a communist. He died young and he died tired, Sam. I'm very angry about that.
He would have been proud of you yesterday. You should have seen the way you thundered at Kendrick. It was a sight to see. Yeah. He would have been proud of you yesterday.
And what about today?
Today you did the best you could.
I gotta go talk to Dawson.
I'm gonna miss being in charge of socks and underwear.
What?
I was just making a dumb joke.
Socks and underwear?
Yeah.
Who are the people that knew Santiago wasn't being transferred? Name the people.
Jessup.
Uh-huh.
Markinson.
Yes.
Kendrick.
Yeah. And Santiago.
What?
Willie Santiago knew he wasn't being transferred. Why it took me 6 weeks to realize this is beyond me. But given time, I'll find a way to blame it on you.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'll explain in the car.
You still need a witness.
I have a witness.
A dead witness.
And in the hands of a lesser attorney, that'd be a problem.
What are you gonna do? You're just gonna go down there?
The cover-up isn't our case. And to win, we need Jessup to admit that he ordered the code red. And you think you can just get him to say it? I think he wants to say it. I think he's pissed off that he has to hide from us. I think he thinks he made a command decision and that's the end of it. He eats breakfast 80 yards away from 4,000 Cubans that are trained to kill him. He runs his unit how he runs his unit, and he's not going to let anyone tell him different. Least of all a pushy broad, a smart Jew, and a Harvard mouth.
You'll need a window. He has no weakness.
He has a weakness.
What?
He thinks he's right. Say, Sam, did you ever hear of the story about Lieutenant Commander Galloway and Colonel Jessup?
I believe I have, Danny. It's a story of courage and conviction, is it not?
Right you are. You see, the commander had a question that she wanted the colonel to answer.
This colonel can be a very intimidating character, I've heard.
Some say the thing of nightmares.
But not to Commander Galloway!
No, sir. You see, she was going to get her answer. And she was determined, and she was courageous, and she did her job.
What do you want?
I want to talk to you about Lance Corporal Harold Dawson and a PFC Donnelly. Downey.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
I can't accept that. We braved extraordinary odds just to get here. My car broke down half a mile away, and Sam had to walk another half a mile just to get help. Now, me and the wife were thinking, maybe going to court tomorrow, maybe saving our clients' lives, maybe putting a homicidal maniac behind bars to boot. We thought you might want to come along. What do you say?
I can't seem to defend people.
I'm sorry you feel that way. You're my hero, Joanne. From the first day, you were a lawyer. Live with that.
Ten, put!
Lieutenant Caffey, are you prepared to call your witness?
Your Honor, I don't think it would do much good to ask for a motion for dismissal at this point.
I'm glad to see you still have your sense of humor, Lieutenant.
Defense calls Colonel Nathan Jessup.
Colonel Jessup is called.
Colonel, have you been previously sworn?
I have not.
Would you raise your right hand and place your left hand on this Bible? You swear that the testimony you will give today in this general court-martial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Would you state your full name, rank, and current billet for the record, please?
Colonel Nathan Robert Jessup, Commanding Officer of the Marine Ground Forces, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Thank you, Colonel. You may have a seat.
Colonel, after being contacted by an NIS officer, you had a meeting with your two senior officers, is that right?
Yes.
The platoon commander, Lieutenant Jane Kendrick, and the company commander, Captain Markinson.
Yes.
And at present, Captain Markinson is dead.
Objection. I'd like to know just what defense counsel is implying.
I'm implying simply that at present, Captain Markinson is not alive.
Well, surely Colonel Jessup doesn't need to appear in this courtroom to confirm that information.
I just wasn't sure if the witness was aware that 2 days ago, Captain Markins took his own life with a .45 caliber pistol.
The witness is aware, the court is aware, and now the jury is aware. We thank you for bringing this to our attention. Move on, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. Colonel, at this meeting, did you give Lieutenant Kendrick an order?
I told Kendrick to tell her men that Santiago wasn't to be touched.
Did you give an order to Captain Markinson as well?
I ordered Markinson to have Santiago transferred off the base immediately.
Why?
I felt that his life might be in danger once word of the letter got out.
Grave danger?
Is there another kind?
Colonel, here we have a order that you and Markinson co-signed, ordering that Santiago be transferred off the base on a 6 a.m. flight. Was this the first flight off the base?
The 0600 was the first flight off the base.
Colonel, you flew up to Washington early this morning, is that right?
Yes.
I noticed you're wearing your Class A dress uniform for your appearance in court today.
As are you, Lieutenant.
Did you wear that on the plane?
Your Honor, is this dialogue relevant to anything in particular?
Your Honor, the defense didn't have time to depose the witness. We'd ask the court for a little latitude.
A very little latitude.
Colonel?
I wore my fatigues on the plane.
And you brought your dress uniform with you?
Yes.
What about a shaving kit, a toothbrush, a change of underwear?
Your Honor!
Is the Colonel's underwear seriously a matter of national security?
Get somewhere fast with this, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. Colonel?
I brought a change of clothes and some personal items.
Your Honor, here we have a report. When Dawson and Downey were taken under arrest, Santiago's rooms was sealed and its contents inventorized. 3 short-sleeve khaki shirts, 3 long-sleeve khaki shirts, 4 pairs of pants, 4 pairs of boots, 4 pairs of black socks, 4 pairs of green socks, 1 sweater.
Your Honor, is there a question anywhere in our future?
Lieutenant Caffey, I have to...
I'm wondering why Santiago wasn't packed. Here, I have a record of calls made from your base in the past 24 hours. After being subpoenaed to Washington, you made 3 calls. I've highlighted those in yellow. Do you recognize these numbers?
I called Colonel Fitzhughes in Quantico, Grove, Virginia to let him know I'd be in town. The second call was to Congressman Richmond of the House of the Armed Services Committee, and the third call is to my sister Elizabeth.
Why'd you make that call?
I thought maybe she'd like to have dinner tonight.
Your Honor,
I'm gonna put a stop to this now.
Your Honor, these are the records of calls from the night that Santiago died, and the 14 letters that he wrote requesting, in fact, begging to be transferred off the base. Now, when he heard that he was going to be transferred, you know how many calls he made? 0. None. Not 1 call to his parents telling them he was finally getting home. Not 1 call to a friend asking if he could be picked up from the airport. He was asleep in his bed at midnight, and according to you, he was getting on a plane in 6 hours. And everything he owned was folded neatly in a foot locker and hanging neatly in a closet. You were going to Washington for 1 day, and you packed a bag and made 3 phone calls. Santiago was leaving for the rest of his life. And he hadn't packed a thing, and he hadn't called a soul. Can you explain that, Colonel? The truth is, Santiago wasn't being transferred, was he?
Object, Your Honor. It's obvious that Lieutenant Caffey's intention this morning is to smear a high-ranking Marine officer in the desperate hope that the mere appearance of impropriety will win him points with the jury. It's my recommendation that Lieutenant Caffey be reprimanded for his conduct and that the witness be excused with the court's deepest apologies.
Overruled.
Your Honor!
The objection's noted.
Colonel? Is this funny, sir?
No. No, it's not. It's tragic.
Do you have an answer?
Absolutely. My answer is I don't have the first damn clue. Maybe Santiago was an early riser and he liked to pack in the morning. Maybe he didn't have any friends. I'm an educated man, but I'm afraid I can't speak intelligently about the travel habits of William Santiago. What I do know is that he was set to leave the base at 0600. Now, are these really the type of questions I was called here to answer? Phone calls and foot lockers? Please. Tell me you have something more, Lieutenant. 2 Marines are on trial for their lives. Please tell me that their lawyer hasn't pinned their hopes to a phone bill. Do you have any other questions for me, Counselor?
Lieutenant Caffey? Lieutenant, do you have anything further for this witness?
Thanks, Danny. I love Washington.
Excuse me, I didn't dismiss you.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not through with my examination. I didn't dismiss you. Sit down.
Colonel!
What's that?
I want this man to refer to me as Colonel or Sir. I believe I've earned it.
Defense counsel will address the witness as Colonel or Sir.
I don't know what the hell kind of outfit you're running here.
And the witness will address this court as Judge or Your Honor. I'm quite certain I've earned it. Take your seat, Colonel.
What would you like to discuss now? My favorite color?
Colonel, the 6 a.m. flight, this was the first flight off the base?
Yes.
There wasn't a flight that left 7 hours earlier and landed in Andrews Air Force Base at 2 a.m.?
That's right.
I thought we covered this.
Your Honor, in just a moment, I'll be calling up Airman Cecil O'Malley and Airman Anthony Perez. They were working the ground crew the morning of the 7th.
Your Honor, these men weren't on the list.
Rebuttal witnesses called specifically to refute witnesses' testimony.
I'll allow the witnesses.
Colonel, a moment ago...
Check the tower logs for Christ's sakes.
We'll get to the airmen in just a minute. Colonel, a moment ago you said that you gave Lieutenant Kendrick an order.
That's right.
And Kendrick was clear on what you wanted?
Crystal.
Any chance she forgot about the order?
Forgot about the order?
Any chance she just ignored it?
No.
Any chance she left your office and said, the old man's wrong?
No.
Any chance when Kendrick told her men, they ignored the order?
Have you ever served in an infantry unit, son?
No, sir.
Ever served in a forward area?
No, sir.
Ever put your life in another man's hands and expect him to do the same?
No, sir.
We follow orders, son. It's that simple. We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear?
Crystal. Colonel, I just have one more question. If you told Kendrick to tell her men not to touch Santiago, why would it be necessary for Santiago to be transferred?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
If you told Kendrick to tell her men not to touch Santiago, why would it be necessary?
Santiago is being transferred because he was a substandard.
No, you said it was because he was in danger.
Yes, that's
You
right.
said danger? I asked grave danger. You said, is there any other kind?
Yes, I recall what I said.
I can have the court report read that back to you if you
I
like.
don't need it read back to me like I'm a damn child.
Then why 2 orders? Colonel?
Sometimes men take matters into their own hands.
No. You said just a moment ago that your men never take matters into their own hands. Your men follow orders or people die. So you see, there should have been no reason for the 2 orders. It's a paradox. Oh, I'm sorry. A paradox is a word that
You little
means...
bastard.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
Your Honor, I'd like an answer to my question.
That makes 2 of us.
Colonel, if Kendrick told her men not to touch Santiago, why would it be necessary to have Santiago transferred? The truth is, Santiago wasn't going to be transferred, was he? You told Kendrick to tell her men to order the code red. Didn't you?
Object. Counselor, you're putting words...
And when things went bad, you cut these guys loose.
Counsel, I'll hold you in
You
contempt.
coerced the doctor.
Please, the
You
court
doctored
is
the
your last
logbook.
word.
You
Damn it,
forged the
Captain,
logbook.
yourself in
I'll ask you
contempt.
for the 4th time.
You
Colonel.
want answers.
I'm entitled to them.
You want answers.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth. Because the truth is, we live in a world that has walls. And those walls need to be guarded by men with guns. Who's going to do it? Is it you? Is it you, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago. You curse the Marines. You have that luxury. The luxury of the blind. The luxury of not knowing what I know. That Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You can't handle it, because deep down in places you don't want to talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these as a backbone to a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who sleeps under the blanket of freedom that I provide and questions the manner in which I provide it. I'd rather you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand a post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you're entitled to.
You ordered the code red.
I did the job.
You ordered the code red!
You're goddamn right I did!
Please, the court. I suggest that we move into an immediate Article 39A session. The witness has rights. Jack?
I concur.
What the hell's going on?
We'll take the members
Captain, what the hell's going
to the
on?
anteroom where
I did
we
my
wait
job
for
and I do it again.
instructions.
Now I'm getting on a plane and going back to my base.
Guard the prisoner.
What?
MPs, guard the prisoner.
I ordered a code red and everyone's going off like a goddamn ladies auxiliary.
Colonel Jessup, you have the right to remain silent. Any statement you do make will be used against you in a
I'm
trial by
being charged with a
court-martial
crime?
or other judicial
Oh,
or
this is
administrative
funny. I'm being
proceedings.
charged with a
You have the
crime.
right to consult with
This
a
is
lawyer
funny.
prior to
No,
the
this
further
is-
questioning.
God damn it!
This lawyer may be a
I'm gonna tear your eyes out of your head because you're dead stop! You messed with the wrong Marine!
Counsel, Colonel Jessup, do you understand these rights as I have just read them to you?
You goddamn animals! You have no idea how to defend a nation. All you did was weekend in country tonight, Kathy. That's all you did. You put people in danger tonight. Give yourself a pat on the back. Sweet dreams, son.
Don't call me son. I'm a lawyer and an officer for the United States Navy, and you're going to jail, you son of a bitch. The witness is excused.
Lift your head and lift it high.
Lift your head and lift it high.
Corporal Dawson's passing by.
Corporal Dawson's passing by.
Sound off.
Left, right.
Sing it loud.
Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Stand proud.
On the charge of murder in the second degree, the members find the defendants not guilty. On the charge of conspiracy to commit murder, the members find the defendants not guilty. On the charge of conduct unbecoming a United States Marine, the members find the defendants guilty as charged. The defendants are hereby sentenced to time served in the brig up until this point and are ordered to be dishonorably discharged from the United States Marine Corps. This court-martial is adjourned.
10, hut!
No. Harold, I'm sorry.
I don't understand.
It's not as bad as it seems.
Colonel Jessup said he ordered the code red.
I know, but...
Colonel Jessup said he ordered the code red. What did we do wrong?
Listen.
What did we do wrong?
Ask Dawson.
We did nothing wrong.
A jury just said your conduct was unbecoming a Marine. What do you think that means?
You're the lawyer.
You're the Marine.
Not anymore.
How? I don't understand.
Look.
What does it mean?
It means we beat the shit out of the wrong guy.
I'm serious. What does it mean?
You're gonna have to stop asking me that.
Hey, Lieutenant Caffey, I gotta take these guys down to personnel for some paperwork.
Harold.
Sir.
You don't have to wear a badge on your arm to have honor.
10, hut! There's an officer on deck.
They're dismissed.
Airmen Cecil O'Malley and Anthony Perez. What are they? The second base and the shortstop for the Toledo Mud Hens?
I wouldn't lie to the court, Jack. They were working the ground crew the morning of the 7th.
And they saw the plane land?
Never said that.
You slick bastard. Good job.
People had a case, Jack.
I'll see you around campus. I gotta go arrest Kendrick.
Tell her I say hi.
How about a celebration? I'm buying. Sam?
Nah, I gotta get home to my daughter. She's bound to be bilingual by now.
So, what's next for you?
Corporal Hector Baines thought it'd be a good idea to go to the movies on company time. What about you?
Me? You know, the usual.
Oh, just annoying people?
Yeah. So how about it? Wanna go get a drink?
I'll hook up with you later. I gotta get started on Hector Baines. You know, stand my post for a while.
You are like 7 of the strangest men I've ever met.
Lift your head and lift it high. Daniel Caffey's walking by.